All right, today my guest is already here. He is Olumide Ayode Omoshibi. He's a lawyer and the CEO of Gnosis Help Initiative. So we'll say our hellos and good mornings and then introduce you to the conversation of today. All right, Olumide, good morning.
Good morning, Onyinye. Good to see you.
Same here. How was your week?
We thank God.
How's your family doing?
Thank God, everyone is good. And you?
Fine, thank you. We're all good, doing well, thank God. All right, awesome. Today's topic is one that's not new to the show. However, it's going to be revisited and discussed even further. We'll have a guest to join us briefly via the phones. I will make a call shortly. And that topic is marriage by pregnancy. So I'm sure from the topic you already sort of have an idea what the conversation will be like. But in my usual fashion, I'd like to give the barrister a few minutes to introduce us to the conversation and give us his piece.
Thank you very much. Good morning once again, everybody. I always feel very excited and happy that people could wake up early to listen to us. I really appreciate it, and we do not take that for granted. I would want to go very straight into our conversations because so that we can have enough time to hear from you. So I want to tell a story this morning. I want to start with a story. Last year, after some students wrote their SSC exams, the WAEC exams, of a particular school, a particular educational institution. Some students had a party that would signify the end of their secondary school education. So during the party, someone had added a substance to the drinks, which got everyone kind of misbehaving. This particular young lady couldn't really handle it as she passed out after taking some of the drinks being served. She was carried to the hostel by her classmates, and when she woke up in the morning, she found another man, that is another male student, on the same bed alongside her, also passed out. They both had a nasty hangover from taking the drinks. 2 months later, she started noticing some changes in her body and some sicknesses, only to find out that she was pregnant.
Secondary school?
Yes. She was 17. She is 17 years old. She couldn't explain how it happened, but on careful reflection, she remembered that party where she passed out and woke up with a male classmate also hungover on the same bed in the hostel, on the same bunk. Her mother is a single mother of 4 who married a man who refused to work or be responsible, so she left him over 10 years ago and has single-handedly taken care of the 4 kids. So the mother now approached the gender unit that her daughter, 17, was raped by someone that even she doesn't understand. That how is she going to raise 4 children plus 1 on the way? She was asking for advice. She didn't know what to do. So I was on another matter when I went to the gender unit, and Auntie Landa called me and I met with her there. She complained bitterly to me about this case, as the girl's mother was unable to handle this matter. That is 4 children plus a baby on the way by her 17-year-old daughter. So we did some petitioning. The boy was arrested, and upon interview, we found that the boy was also 17 years old. So we had a dilemma. How do you charge defilement of a minor by another minor? Would justice be best served by sending a 17-year-old to jail for life according to Section 358 8 of the Nigerian Criminal Code Act. That is, rape is life imprisonment. Would justice best be served by sending this 17-year-old who was under the influence of drugs to prison for life? This, knowing he was also underage, he will be remanded and his life would practically be over. While we were contemplating the option, the father of the pregnant teenager got to hear, that is the father of the girl, and immediately called his family in the village. They are from Benue State, and sent a message that the daughter is pregnant and started raising hell that the mother was an irresponsible mother and their 17-year-old child is pregnant. So the reply came from Benue State that the boy and the mother should come down to the village to see the family. They must have a meeting. While this was still going on, the father told the girl to pack her load and move in with the 17-year-old boy, that he would be the one to take care of the daughter. Now, the 17-year-old boy's mother had 2 sons for a man who abandoned them at the age of 2. So from 2 to 17, she had been the one raising the 2 sons. She met a man who married her but didn't take her sons. The man said that she cannot come along with her sons, so she had to go kind of squat her sons with an uncle while she stayed in her matrimonial home, shuttling between her uncle's place to stay with the 2 sons she left there and her house. Now, because the girl is pregnant, according to the father, she must move into the house of the 17-year-old boy that got her pregnant, knowing now that the 17-year-old is squatting with an uncle who said absolutely not, that the boy would move out with a 17-year-old girl, not in this house. So he would take care of you and take care of another girl, then be responsible for the pregnancy again. And that was another dilemma, because the boy would be homeless and the pregnant girl too will be homeless. So when I got there and I heard this development, I instructed the girl to remain in her mother's house. A man that has not taken care of the children for over a decade is now the one coming to make decisions. The mother was in a very terrible place. We had a matter of law to consider. But the point I'm bringing out here is that the reaction of the father to the pregnancy of his 17-year-old daughter was to move out of the house and move in with another 17-year-old who just did WAEC to stay. The common trend is that the moment a girl child or a lady gets pregnant, she's told to move in with the man that got her pregnant and forced to marry the gentleman. In fact, adults who are old enough to get married, when they get pregnant, they rush into the wedding rites to make sure that they get married before the pregnancy shows. The first reason is because, well, amongst the adults, they say the church will not marry a woman that is already pregnant. So people pretend and quickly get married before the pregnancy starts showing. Secondly, the parents will not want to have a grandchild delivered in their home, so they send their daughters out to the culprits. So my question is why? Why is the girl child suddenly forced into marriage because of pregnancy? So I started to investigate. I'm from Ondo State, Akure North local government. So I called to find if there is any tradition or culture in my village, in my hometown, that makes it compulsory for a woman to marry the man that got her pregnant. And the answer from our elders is that there is no such tradition or culture. So I made calls to elders in Oshun, Ogun, Abeokuta, all the way to Ilorin, and found out that still there is no culture in Yoruba land that compels a woman to marry a man who gets her pregnant. So I moved to the east. In the east, I found out that is from Calabar, Port Harcourt, all the way to Imo and all that. I found out that in the east, there is still no culture or tradition that compels a woman to marry the man that impregnates her. The only thing in the east is that if you do not pay the bride price of the woman, the child will belong to the woman's family. The man would have no rights to the child. That is the only exception coming from the Igbos. But there is no compulsion that the man must marry her. So I found out that in Nigeria as a whole, there is no culture, tradition, legislation, or constitution or bylaw that imposes that a woman must get married to the man that got her pregnant. That is outside wedlock. So again, where did this practice come from? The second answer was religion, as a lot of people would say, what would they say in my church? That is for people that are old enough. So they say because the church will refuse to marry a woman who got pregnant, so they have to quickly rush it before the pregnancy shows. So the question is, does Christianity also insist that you marry the man who got you pregnant? Is it in the Christian religion? Because as it is, they rush to get married. Once they are pregnant, they quickly rush to get married. The pregnancy must not show. In fact, some have to abort because, if they find out in church. So I went through the Bible from the Old Testament to the New Testament, and I found nowhere that a pregnant woman cannot marry. Ladies and gentlemen, you also know what else I found from the Bible, that in Matthew 1:19, Mary was also pregnant with child before Joseph married her. That did not stop their marriage, and they got married according to their custom. So where exactly is the church doctrine that people who get a woman who gets pregnant cannot be married? Where did it come from? Because finding out that it is not in the Bible or in any of the Gospels, because if it was a taboo, then God will not allow Jesus, Mary, to be pregnant before marriage. Being that he came to redeem us, he would not be introduced to the world as a taboo or an abomination at birth. So it means that even in the Jewish custom plus the gospel, there is nowhere that it is written that a pregnant woman must marry the man or cannot be wed in the church. The hypocrisy of this is, of some churches, is that the same people that you refuse to marry because of their pregnancy will come back to the same church to do Thanksgiving, which they would be allowed. Will come back and the child would also be dedicated in the church that they did not allow them marry, and be baptized in the same church that said they cannot marry them because they are pregnant. So if there is no culture, there is no religion, the Christian religion does not impose that you must marry the person who got you pregnant. There is no tradition, there is no culture, there is no legislation, the legislation, there is no constitution that imposes that you must marry the person who got you pregnant. Then where is this practice from? I would like us to, I have touched the Christian religion, I have touched tradition and culture all over Nigeria. I have touched the constitution and the legislation and bylaws. I have checked the Child Act. I have checked the child right law. Nothing imposes that a woman must marry whoever got her pregnant. So now the other religion here is whether it is a Muslim condition. So right now I would like to place a call to an imam, that is Imam Kamadin, who is the, how would I call it, the director of the Makazu Soda Islamic Center in Ogun State. I hope he would be available to pick our call.
All right, I'm going to place that call in a few seconds. Stay with us, please. Tell me the number is two. It's like more than 11. Are the zeros too much?
It's
070.
07
Okay, is it confirmed to be
05690.
I was looking like 12 digits. Apologies, sorry, it's complete now. Alright, I want it to ring before we and you pick up. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Am I on to Imam Kamardeen Adeleke? Good morning. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Onyinyechi Kumankama and I'm calling you live from 99.3 Nigeria Info Lagos right now. Thank you so much for picking our call.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Dr.
We thank God, sir. Thank you for accepting my disturbance this morning. At times I think I disturb people too much. So, sir, please, I have a predicament here. The issue I am battling with is marriage by pregnancy. I am trying to find whether, according to Islamic law or rights, a woman who gets pregnant must marry the man who got her pregnant. I don't know if there is any Islamic principle, law, bylaw, or practice that imposes marriage by pregnancy.
Well, Alhamdulillah, let me start by saying that in Islam, human sexuality is governed by God's law, as stipulated in the glorious Quran. In Quran chapter 24, verse 32, the Quran says, وَأَنْكِحُوا الْأَيَامَ مِنْكُمْ وَالصَّالِحِينَ مِنْ عِبَادِكُمْ وَإِمَائِكُمْ إِنْ يَكُونُوا فُقَرَاءَ يُغْنِهِمُ اللَّهُ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ وَاللَّهُ وَاسِعٌ عَلِيمٌ. That Quranic verse is making us to understand that men and women that have come of age can come together as husband and wife. And the righteous servants of Allah that are afraid of their financial status, if they want to get married and they have attained puberty, if they have faith in their goal, they can go on to do that. The Quran says, "Wallahu yughnihimu Allahu min fadlihi." Allah promises that He is going to enrich them. Wallahu wasi'un alim. Allah is graciously knowledgeable about their condition before they ever think of coming together as husband and wife. Let me tell you that in the history of Islam, before the emergence of Prophet Muhammad in the Arabic Peninsula, there is no phrase like pregnant marriage. It does not exist anywhere. When I was listening to you in your introduction, I can understand where you are coming from. In Nigeria, perhaps maybe we can say that we are more fun, we can say more of the fact that hypocrisy is the major cause of us coining this kind of phrase. Arabian before Islam have different types of marriages. The first one is istibda. That istibda, the husband will send his wife to another man. They will exchange their wives for that sexual pleasure.
Oh, wow.
And at the end of the day, they will back to them.
Oh, wow. Okay, sir.
they take them to the airport and begin to cohabit with them.
Oh,
Then
okay.
marriage by mar, by dowry. In Arabic lines, then women were classified into two: the high class and the slave bonds. The high class women are those that are from noble homes, so they are the ones that are properly married by the Arab men. Separate on them before they get to go into the house of their husband.
Okay. So
Bride price.
okay, sir. So you are saying that in Islamic law there is no place that tells you that you must marry the person who got you pregnant. After getting the dark in complexion pregnant. Oh wow. Oh wow. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I just wanted to be sure that there is no religion that is between the Christian and Muslim faith that imposes marriage by pregnancy. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for your time.